Hey everyone, welcome to these readings in regards to how you help others evolve. Really excited about these readings today. There's not much more of an intro that we need for that. All else that you need to know is that you have 5 crystals to choose from today in correlation with 5 piles. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time, otherwise we're going to hop right into these readings. What is up, pile number 1? If you guys chose this beautiful Obsidian, this is your reading. So I have your cards flipped over. We just got 5 cards, we're going to keep it really simple today, short and sweet and to the point. So what I'm seeing here, how you guys help others evolve. I'm hearing that you guys are extremely in tune with your shadow side. I mean, you also have the Devil card coming up. You guys are extremely in tune with your shadow aspects. I feel like you guys, through whatever you do, you might embody this. These might be codes you embody. You might talk about it. However you do, whatever you be, really helps people embrace all aspects of themselves. And I feel like you guys might be a pile where you have been through quite a bit. Like you had, you experienced quite a bit of darkness in early childhood or just throughout your life in general. And I feel like this is a group that you show people that they don't have to be limited by that, right? You show people that there doesn't have to be this sense of limitation and the sense of like you can't make it, or the sense of like, I feel like you help people let go of these past karmas, or you help people integrate at the very least. Like I'm hearing a sense of like you help set people free in the fact that they can embrace all aspects of themselves. So you help set people free with the understanding that their darkness, their shadows, their karmic propensities aren't actually they're not bad. They're not negative. They're not to be seen as like these flaws that we want to get rid of. I feel like so often, especially in the spiritual communities, we can get swept up in this ideology and this way of being where we want to be a different version of ourselves that we're not already at this moment. And in my most humble of opinions, what I know to be true about the spiritual journey is what sets you free, right? What allows you to feel the most free within an incarnation. That's honoring exactly where you're at and knowing that there's nowhere to get, right? It's like this weird dichotomy because of course we want to be better. We want to become more free, but it's that catch-22 because in order to become more free, you can't be resisting what is now, right? And I feel like whatever your guys' expression is, you really help people embrace all aspects of who they've been through you embracing all aspects of who you are. This obsidian talks about shadows. It talks about mirrors. It's a dark, mysterious crystal. It reaches into the depths of our shadows, shedding light on what needs to be healed in order to move forward. Obsidian serves as a mirror, revealing our deepest truths. Obsidian crystalline structure is amorphous, moving beyond conventional time to dip into the past, present, and future, and wielding great power to clear any obstacles. Use obsidian to shield against psychic attacks and to ground your base chakra to planet Earth. So, this is all to be said. Honestly, what I feel like New Earth is and what I feel like this planet needs moving forward, which you guys do so beautifully, my group number 1, is I feel like there's this weird understanding, there's weird belief that we can't start being successful until we're in this space of already being pristine and perfect. And so what I love about this pile and what you guys help other people to embrace and to understand is like, you can start where you are. Like if Jesus waited, I say this often because I think this is a phrase somewhere, but like if Jesus waited until he was perfect, no one would have received his sermons, right? No one would have received his gifts and no one would have received his, like he is a being where, however many years later, right? I'm not going to try to like ballpark that one, but however many years later, like, I don't think Jesus wrote down one thing, right? The being that, most people call Jesus or consider Jesus. Like, he didn't write down anything. That's how powerful his teachings were. That's how powerful his connection was to spirit and to something bigger than himself. So I feel like whatever you guys do, you help people, you put people at ease with the fact that there's something just bigger than yourself. And there's something going on. There's something much bigger guiding this whole thing that we don't always know from this perspective. We don't always know why we have the karmic agendas that we do and why we have the flaws, the insecurities, why we're guided towards certain things, why we have certain desires and certain lusts and certain passions and why we don't. But at the very least, I feel like you show people that at the very least they're there for a reason, right? And what else are you going to do? You might as well just play your part. You might as well just honor it. You might as well explore these things and show you what they have to reveal to you about yourself, right? So I feel like you help depersonalize the human experience in the sense of like, most people tend to be very shameful and very like avoidant of the shadow because they feel like there's something like, it feels like a personal experience, or they don't recognize, they can't see how everyone has it, or, you know, they've made it so like they want to hold on to it, right? They want to make it like, this is me. Like they attach their limited self. They're seeing things just through the lens of the ego. So whatever work you guys are doing, like you really hold a mirror to people and understanding how to see things from the level of the soul, right? Or at the very least to help people release themselves from this, you know, what keeps us in bondage even deeper is shame, right? The energy of the devil, the energy of assuming or of attaching identity to things that are ephemeral, things that are transient. The second it is born from the formless, it is distorted. Distorted doesn't mean bad. It's just how God gets to play. It's just how source gets to play, right? And so I feel like you help people, you help show people that no matter what level they're at, no matter where they're operating at, that they can be successful. They can be victorious. They can feel victorious and successful within themselves. And so you guys might be teachers, but at the very least, I mean, yeah, because there's a lot here that talks about being a mirror. And so for me, mirrors are people that understand their well springs and their inner depths, their inner psyche and the human psyche and like the pitfalls and everything to such a pristine level that they can help other people. They can truly help other people out of that through holding a mirror, through probably also having gone through similar experiences, or at least navigating very tumultuous inner and most certainly outer realms as well. So this is beautiful. I feel like, yeah, we have the planet Saturn here. Saturn is a very purifying planet. So Saturn either leaves us feeling bitter or it leaves us feeling better. So I feel like what you guys help people do with the Sagittarius and like Jupiter energy coming in as well, as you help people see, like you help people appreciate their darkness. You help people appreciate all sides of themselves and all the things that, you know, most people think is a personal experience or like are like shameful and want to keep to themselves. I feel like whatever you do, maybe you just like talk so openly about it, or just like when you talk about your pitfalls and your shortcomings and your insecurities, you do so from a place where there's like a freedom behind it that helps other people. It communicates to other people that there's no need to be shameful about it. I feel like this is a group that is very like nonchalant and lackadaisical when speaking about all aspects of themselves. And I feel like you don't have a problem also being like, yeah, I was insecure about A, B, and C. Or like, you know, you were just very sharing of just like your process of taking yourself out of those shadow realms and removing your sense of like identity from these things that would get most people very caught up in. So yeah, this is beautiful. I feel like ultimately, like, you know, it says use obsidian against psychic attacks. I feel like you are the obsidian in people's lives. You help people, you know, protect themselves from their own psychic attacks, or, you know, even external projections. I feel like you have a very sobering and a very unique perspective of the nature of reality that allows people to feel set free from their own self-imposed bondage. So beautiful work, whatever you guys are doing. This is beautiful work. These are the leaders of New Earth, right? There's new mass waves of awakening happening right now, and a lot of people that have done a lot of things out of confusion, done a lot of things operating from shadow, not understanding shadow. And so we need teachers like this. We need leaders like this. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your service. If this resonated today, please give this video a thumbs up, comment any synchronicities down below, and I hope to see you guys soon. What's up, group number 2? I've just flipped over your cards for how you guys help others evolve, and this message is so clear. So you guys chose this Blue Spinel crystal, very beautiful crystal, which is all about persistence, fresh perspectives, revival. It resonates with the sign Gemini and with the planet Pluto. So already I was feeling this like sense of transformation from this group. I feel like you guys help people transform, and you guys help people, like, you guys encourage people to go towards beginnings that set them free. You guys really help people like trust themselves. You guys help people go follow the path of the road less traveled, right? The path of the least resistance is what the Bhagavad Gita would say, right? So the path that seems easy is actually hard. So the path that's like, you know, the template path you know, what everyone else, your friends, your relatives, etc., would say that you should do to, you know, land a job or to stay secure, that path seems easier from one level. But from a higher level, it's actually very difficult because you're selling your soul. It's not what actually feeds your spirit. You don't feel holistically prosperous. Maybe in terms of supporting yourself financially, you can be prosperous, right? But holistically prosperous, that's where the direction that this planet is moving into, especially in this age of Aquarius, and where money systems are about to shut down very soon, right? The way we operate is going to be very different. So I feel that these are probably conversations that you have with people, right? The fact that I was guided to get into that tangent, I feel like you guys really help people, like you steer people in the direction of taking chances on their highest aspirations and taking a bet on themselves, right? You really help people go towards their dreams. You help people, like, and it's from a grounded perspective too. It's not necessarily from like this idea that you're going to be an overnight success, right? It really is with this King of Pentacles coming through. And Blue Spinel talks about persistence. So I feel like you guys are coming from this from a very grounded perspective of it's going to take time, right? Good things take time. Solid foundations. The King of Pentacles too, this is someone who's very mature, right? So you bring this very mature energy to other individuals. You're very grounded. You're very generous with your knowledge. I feel like if you could help people, you do, in terms of like business ideas or business plans, or like you're very giving in terms of like how to give realistic advice for people to navigate whatever current paradigms that they're in. So navigating not just on a realistic level, but also navigating their paradigms in terms of what they actually believe is true. So it seems like you really help others evolve by working on very multidimensional levels. So levels that are very practical, but levels that are also very spiritual and very like, okay, do you see how you help people tweak their perspectives and see how they're selling themselves short because they're getting trapped in mind loops, or they're getting trapped in misperceptions, or, you know, not trusting the nature of reality because this planet is so dense, you know. You help people break through that. So it says, revive to keep alive. Blue Spinel helps bring new energy to stagnant parts of your life, from inside your body to the outside world. The name of this stone comes from the Latin word for spine. Blue Spinel will give you a strong backbone, sense of self, reason to stand tall despite any challenges you might face. This is a great crystal for workaholics as it eases stress and anxiety and instills a renewed sense of resolution. You can make it to the end if you put your mind to it. Blue Spinel provides that fresh perspective to reset and rejuice. So I feel like that's like, could not describe the King of Pentacles any better, which like in my little card setup right here, the King is right underneath the Blue Spinel. So I love when it said gives you a strong backbone. I feel like that is really what is required of us when we're setting off on our road less traveled. And I feel like you guys provide people that backbone, or at least you, at the very least, there's something about the way you speak. You guys give really great advice. I'm hearing the way you give advice and the way that you help people tweak their perspectives. Yeah, that's coming through so much here, is that you help people tweak their perspectives to a point where they are likely to take a chance on their dreams. So I'm not sure what field you guys might be in. It really doesn't matter, but just know that whatever your influence is like, because you came into someone's field, I feel like you do this wherever you go, and you're probably living a life that is very different. It's very self-made. It's very extricated from like the system and the template. Or at the very least, that's the direction that you're heading to. I feel like you provide other people an example, right, of that. It's not always going to be like we can have these rose-colored lenses on sometimes of like, it's not always going to be easy in terms of having the map all laid out, but it feels good. You're going to feel free when you're really tapped into your soul stream. It's going to feel like it's in alignment. You're merging with your true nature, right? Not something else, not some template or some ideology that someone else has for you, or that society has for you, right? That says you should look, that says you should act, or how you should speak, or what type of jobs you should go for, or what you should be doing with your time, right? And so that requires a spine. That requires being able to be like, no, these are what my values are. This is what I'm here for. I'm not here to play anyone else's game. Like, my life is way too short. My life is way too precious. My purpose is way too freaking big for me to be trying to change who I am so other people can understand me, right? And so I feel like whatever you guys do, whatever you speak into people's lives, you help people find their spine. You help people find their backbone, and you help people understand that good things take time, right? And I feel like too, it's like this very delicate balance that it seems like you guys like have with other beings, because with this Fool energy, it's like anything is possible, right? Absolutely anything is possible. Like, leave space for grace. Like, miracles can happen, right? Absolutely. But also stay grounded in this reality and the fact that on this earth plane, things move slower, and we're not always aware from this perspective why certain things take time, right? And so I feel like these are all things that you communicate either verbally or just like what you do, how you be. This is what people get from you. This is what people are learning from you, is good things take time. Where I had a friend one time say, we were talking about numbers and followings and stuff. This was like a few years ago, and how like people, just because the numbers aren't always there, how sometimes people can get down on themselves and think that a bigger number means something more about your contribution to the planet, right? Spirit doesn't see in terms of numbers. Spirit sees in terms of like energy. And if you change one life, you're creating a ripple in the entire quantum field, right? And so my friend said, he said, water the garden that's in front of you. Or that he had heard that phrase from somewhere. Water the garden that's in front of you. Doesn't matter how luscious it is. Doesn't matter how many sprouts are taking sprout. Just water what's in front of you. What else can we do? Right? It's like, this came through in pile number 1 too, but so often it's like we are selling ourselves short. We are not actually tuned in with true prosperity when we're worried about getting to the end. It's like, whenever you get to wherever you think you need to be, there's going to be somewhere else that you need to be. And by that time, like, how much of your life did like went by without you actually appreciating what was here and now, right? So these are all like nuances that you help teach other people, that you communicate to other people just by you being you. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are not already living a very different life from the mainstream, and one that like begs people, like people look into your life and your expression and they're like, wow, if Pal 2 can do this, like, first of all, I feel like people are just in awe of your life and that what you're creating, what you have created so far, but they're like, you give other people hope too. You're like, if they could do that, so can I. If they're able to be so different and so eccentric and so comfortable in who they are, like, there's a huge factor of like, you are comfortable in your skin. You are comfortable with failing. You're comfortable with the fact that you understand things aren't always going to go the way that you think they should, but there's a trust that you have, and that's what adds to your mystique. Right? And so I feel like you help people develop a spine within themselves, because you don't make anything really mean anything, I feel. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? You don't make like failure mean anything bad. You don't mean success mean anything good, at least as much as you can. I feel like what you communicate to other people, how you help other people evolve, is how much fun am I having? Right? How generous am I feeling from the inside out? How prosperous am I feeling from the inside out? Because it's like, there's nothing worse than climbing up so far up a ladder to realize that it's pressed up against a building that you don't actually want to be on, right? And so you really beg people to look at why they're acting, why they're, performing, why they're going in certain directions. You really beg them to ask, is this really what is honoring me and what I'm here for? Because I understand, or you help other people understand that if it's uplifting to them and their blueprint, what they're here for, then they can be sure as hell it's going to be uplifting for the rest of the planet, right? So what we do in our spare time, what we do behind closed doors, what we do to set ourselves free, speaking of perspective and everything that follows externally that's inevitable, right? How we free ourselves is how we give other people permission to free themselves too. So whatever you guys are doing, keep it up. You really help people believe in their dreams. You help people believe that anything is possible. You help people understand and reframe the fact that it's not about getting to the end. It's not about the numbers. It's not about A, B, C, or D. It's about the journey, believe it or not. And you can have fun every step of the way, and you should be having fun every step of the way. And if you're not enjoying the process, the results are going to be just as empty, right? So pile number 2, thank you for being here. If this resonated, please give this video a thumbs up, comment anything down below, any synchronicities, subscribe if you've been here before, and I hope I see you soon. What is up, pile number 3? Here is your reading for how it is that you guys help others evolve. Pile 3, I'm getting goosebumps. This is a very, I immediately felt a sense of like purpose and a sense of being seen. And the way that the energy came over my system was in a way where I feel like how you help other people evolve is like, you see the wallflowers. You see the greatness in beings that don't necessarily see it in themselves, or at the very least don't have other people that are able to see their greatness and able to see the gifts that they have to share, because it's not in alignment with mainstream narratives, or it's not what most of society would consider as a gift, or would consider to be something useful, or that's going to take you somewhere, right? Something practical. I feel like you really help people come into a space of self-acceptance with this Sugilite. Sorry, I didn't say that at the beginning, but yeah, you chose Sugilite, which is about originality, forgiveness, unconditional love. It says it helps anyone who has ever felt like they did not belong or feel loved and supported. Violet rays of unconditional love brings light workers down to earth, opens them to share their gifts while staying grounded on the planet. It helps alleviate issues of the mind, focusing on what's truly important, living in your truth. Forgiveness for those that have hurt you, right? So there's a lot of abundance that's coming through with this group. And there's a lot of, like, you have a 6, you have a 7, and then you have an 8. So there's a lot of, I feel like how you help others evolve is, there's a lot that I'm getting from all of these piles about isolation, or about people that have been forgotten. People that feel alone on this planet. People that, you know, look up at the stars and long for home, or long for a place where they belong. It reminds me of that Hercules song. I've totally made like a TikTok or a funny clip about this before. But, you know, that song in Hercules, it's called Go the Distance. Pile 3, you have to listen to that song. But I listened to it, I'm like, this is how starseeds feel, I'm sure. I've made a TikTok that was like, if you're a starseed, you probably listened to this song and felt this type of way, right? And it really talks about, like, he sings essentially about going somewhere where he feels like where he belongs, and going the distance to find where he belongs, going the distance and not settling on what other people, limited, small, petty ass minds say that he can and cannot do, and going forward and figuring out what the fuck that means to him, and who the fuck he is, and who the fuck they came here to be before someone else and other people tried to contort them and conform them into a mold of who they need that person to be, right? So I feel like you help other people see that they don't need to change who they are for a world that doesn't know who the fuck they are, right? I feel like this is a group that is very, there's a lot of purple energy. I noticed first and foremost the purple coming through. So there's a lot here about your spiritual connection, your spiritual awareness, having a very open crown, having, like, very tuned into your spiritual gifts. And so I feel like how you guys help others evolve, you're either utilizing your spiritual gifts, and this could be, doesn't have to be an and or, it can be like a both, right? I feel like you're helping other people tap into their gifts, you're utilizing your spiritual gifts, and you root for the underdog, right? It's the people that have been forgotten. It's the people that have been kind of left alone to their own. It's like, you're this person that is like, I will carry the weight of the world. I will help you get across to calmer seas, to calmer waters. Like, I can't help but, like, I know I'm reading this more intuitively, but I know 7 of Pentacles talks about just like contemplating, right? And this woman, like, the expression on her face almost looks like, oh, like confused, or just like isolated, or just like forgotten. Like, what the feeling I'm getting here is like, you help people that feel forgotten, or you help people that feel misfit. Remember that they have a deeper purpose. Remember that their misfit nature is actually their greatest gifts. They didn't come here to fit in. They came here, yeah, indigo. I just heard indigo. They came here to break the structure. They came here to break the status quo and to be like, there is no status quo, right? And to be free. You're helping, you teach people what true freedom is, and it's understanding that not everyone's gonna get you, especially when you're operating from higher levels of awareness. It's like, there's a beautiful teacher, Joel Goldsmith. He uses a lot of examples from the Bible, and so I tune into his work a lot. So that's probably naturally why I also use examples from the Bible. And I went to VBS growing up, so raised loosely in a religious household. But tangent. But talks often about teachers, the teachers of this world, or how Jesus, if you are teaching spiritual law and you are helping other people expand their lens of perception, know that you will be persecuted along the way, right? And so I feel like you really help people understand the fact that there's almost like this sense of protection. I feel like very empathic and older souls have, because there are codes, not just on this planet, but a lot of people have codes of being persecuted for trying to break against the status quo. And whatever it is that you do, you help remind people that it's okay and that this is a different time, right? We're alive on a planet at a different time, and the likelihood of them being killed for these things, it's there, but it's not high, because people are waking up to it, with all this weird, crazy, non-coincidental things that tend to happen to people that start, whistleblowing and, trying to open humanity's eyes to corruption, etc. right? But I feel like the realms you guys are working in is a bit different. There is something here about work and like what you're doing in the world with this pentacle energy, 7 of Pentacles. But I feel like also just holistically, like you help people navigate their reality, and you help people be okay with walking away from certain things and going towards things that are a little bit different, but that are actually in true alignment with their purpose. So there was a point where I was gaining a lot of recognition in a certain field, for example, in the fitness industry. And we had like an online platform, and there was like, you know, hundreds, I think there was like hundreds of thousands of people on their social medias, and I was like a big face of this organization. And there was something about it, like it supported me, and there was a moment of growth. I don't ever mean to bash, but especially when I was first fresh and I first left, there was a lot of bashing. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not pretending like I'm more evolved than I am, right? So there was some like bitterness there. But when I look back, it was exactly what I needed for the time being. But I recognize in hindsight, when I had a break from that, I recognize that, you know, like recognition is cool. Like that's all, whatever it is. It's nice to be recognized for your talents and your expression, right? But if it feels like you're filtering who you are for the sake of other people being able to understand you, that's only going to take you so far. And it's only a matter of time before you, snap, or before you recognize that the payoff is not worth the sacrifice, right? And so in this case, I feel like what you guys do for my pal number 3, you help other people understand that the sacrifices that are worth it are sacrifices that allow you to feel free in who you came here to be, right? So again, the wallflowers, the forgotten people, that comes up very strong, the misfits, right? You guys speak to the misfits, and you guys really, I feel like you make a very profound difference. You help open these light workers' eyes and these indigos and these misfits and, you know, people who've probably been labeled as society as having something wrong with them neurologically or whatever. You help see them that, like, I feel like you coming into their experience, it's like there's a rapid, I don't know what you guys do, but there is a rapid healing process that people go through when they're in your field, when they come across your work, whatever it is. There's something about whatever you guys are doing that you help other people very rapidly restore, like it's soul retrieval. You help them restore aspects of themselves to themselves, aspects that they denied, aspects that they rejected because they felt it wasn't good enough, or because the people that they were around, it was like pearls in front of swine. They, you know, swine eat everything. They don't know the difference between trash and between like a freaking, you know, filet mignon. They'll eat whatever. They eat shit and that, right? And so I feel like you help people see that they are very exquisite. And there's a lot of rapid healing that happens when people come into your field, because I feel like you really open people's eyes, whether it's your expression, whether it's how you carry yourself, whatever it is, of like, you're so original and within yourself that you give other people permission to be the same. And you don't have them wait for perfection, right? You don't have them waiting for perfection. And you also understand that, you know, the fact that forgiveness is such a strong component here too. It's like, that's that phrase of Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So I feel like you also help other people understand that they are much more expanded than people around them. And there's no hierarchy to that. That's just what the fuck is going on. They're more expanded than a lot of people. So of course there's not as many people. The vast majority of people aren't going to be able to recognize those things as gifts because they're so, you know, their eyes haven't been opened yet. They're still sleeping, right? So there's so many different levels that you help people realize. I feel like you could be a huge contributor to people's awakenings, like major awakenings, major spiritual awakenings with this like rapid accelerated motion, right? In a short amount of time, I feel like you are group number 3, whatever you do, people remember you as being a major contributor to who they are, or there's something like there's the way that you say things or reframe things just puts things into perspective in such a way that like people don't go backwards. It's like you instill such deep levels of, like you poke holes in the veils to such a degree that it's like you can't close that hole. That hole is forever permeated. That veil is forever permeated in a very specific way that they can't get lost in that illusion as they once did. And this really does have to do around their gifts, their spiritual gifts, their natural talents, what they're here for, their individuality, and the fact that everything that society would say was wrong with them is actually their biggest gift. and what they're here to contribute to the planet at this time. So keep it up. Whatever you guys do, thank you for being here. Thank you for your service. It's been an honor reading for you today. Like this video, do your thing, whatever you feel resonant to do, do it, and I hope I see you guys soon. Whoa, Pal 4. So this is a powerful group already. Wow. Then the synchronicities between the cards is incredible, and you guys are going to see this as we get into this together. But how you guys, Pile 4, help other people, and we have 4 here too with this authority card and the Emperor. I think I've been reading this as the Hierophant in the past. Whoops. Oh well, what comes through is meant to. You have Bixbite. You chose Bixbite, which is about timing, action, change. This is all about divine timing and synchronicity, right? It says Bixbite has an impeccable knack for the right timing and can encourage you to try new things, pursue an opportunity, change anything that needs an update. It opens the connection between your base chakra and your heart chakra. Unconditional love, encourages energy expressed as action, movement, progression, which is all what the Emperor embodies and is about, right? And this is really, Bixbite is like taking action and changing your life when it's time to. And you have the Wheel of Fortune coming through and accentuating this energy even more. Bixbite resonates with the signs Aries and Taurus, right? And the planet of the moon. And Aries reminds me of this very authoritative type of energy, this Emperor energy, this very take charge, be bold, take action. And Taurus, because of it, you seem to navigate the earth realms extremely well. So whatever you guys are doing, like you help other people evolve because you help them see that they can be the authority of their life, right? Whether it's, it's more traditional, more in the matrix, it's more whatever, right? Whether it's traditional or non-traditional, conventional or unconventional, doesn't fucking matter. Whatever you guys do, you really help put into perspective for people that there's no such thing as failure, right? Anything can happen at any time. Might as well try new things, right? Pursue new opportunities, pursue things as they come. I feel like it's a very delicate balance of taking charge, but leaving space for grace, right? You help people understand the fact that, life is going to have ups and downs. There's going to be moments where you feel like you're on top of your game and you're successful and etc. And there's going to be moments where it feels stagnant and it feels like you're not making much progress, right? With this moon energy coming up, it's like the moon, but also supported with Aries and Taurus, is like you're in tune with the fact that, sometimes you're going to make a connection between plateauing externally and making that mean something negative, right? Sometimes that's going to be inevitable, but you help other people not stay there very long, right? You help put things in their proper context of being like, it's just the game of life. Sometimes you're at the top of the wheel, sometimes you're at the bottom of the wheel, and there ain't nothing to it. And because of it, you don't get stuck. You help people not get stuck, not stay in their rut. You help people I wouldn't be surprised if I have tarot readers tuning into this, or just coaches, transformational coaches, or just beings that are empowerment coaches, life coaches in general. Maybe just who you are and how you show up. People are just you should be a coach if you're not. But it seems like you give really good advice, and it seems like you really help people take back their own life and not wait around for something else or someone external to make opportunities happen. I feel like this would be a group where you inspire other people, or you tell other people just start with what you have. If you have your phone, start recording with your phone. If you have a microphone, just start uploading podcasts from your, using your microphone, starting with what you have type of thing and working your way up, right? Starting from the bottom, now we're here. I feel like you guys really have a community around you, or at the very least, you help others evolve. I feel like there's a lot of others that you help evolve, is just the overall feel that I'm getting from my pal number 4. There's a lot of others that you help evolve, a lot of other selves that look to you as a source of authority, that look to you as someone that they really trust. And I feel like it's because you guys, I feel like you got my group number 4. I am getting a strong indication that you kind of wear your life on your sleeve. Some of you guys might even have podcasts where you're just very open about your ups and your own ups and your own downs. And because of it, you help people be more okay with their own ups and their own downs. There's a sense of authenticity here that I'm getting from this pile, and you just being honest about the journey and your own shortcomings and your own successes and your own your inner worlds, right? I had this thought the other day of how beautiful in this age of Aquarius, where there's hundreds, if not thousands of people that have podcasts and that are just having conversations, and that We have the ability to record conversations that we're having with our deepest friends, with the people that trust us, that we trust the most. These very heartfelt, transformative connections, and other people who are going through their awakening, or other people that, you know, could use a perspective tweak in a certain area that allows them to feel more free and to release a little bit of bondage. How beautiful that we have access to that, that so many people have access to that. And so often I feel like it's like when people hear someone else go through something similar as them, and they see how they let themselves off the hook psychologically, spiritually, to not, you know, do better when you know better. But ultimately, like, why pay for it 1,000 times over? Like, if you made a mistake, move on, right? Or like, if you had a failure, move on. If you have a setback, what the fuck ever, like, you know, welcome to earth. You know, I feel like that's this very nonchalant energy that you guys carry about, like, whatever's here is not going to last, right? So make the most out of it. And so I don't know why I keep getting such a strong indication of podcasts. Maybe you guys tune into a lot of podcasts. And so, like, it gets us in this energy, I feel, of just being very open and transparent about the human journey. And the more that you tune into these different podcasts, like sometimes I'd be watching Logan Paul. Sometimes I just saw 555. Yeah, this is very transformative, pal. Sometimes I'd be watching like Logan Paul. Sometimes I'd be tuning into like Theo Vaughn, you know, like comedians. And sometimes it's like Kyle Cease and Ram Dass. But like at the end of it, at the core of it all, I'm like, this is so beautiful. Like, we're just all humans, like sharing our perspectives, and none of it's right? But we're just kind of sharing our victories and our successes and being able to laugh at. It is such a gift to be able to laugh at areas that some people, okay, I gotta be careful with how I word this, but to be able to laugh at things that maybe in the past you might have been so embarrassed about that you didn't want to share. You know, there's something to say about that, and the level of maturity within the individual, and just the levels of perception that individual is operating from. And so whatever you guys are doing that. This could even be saying, if you guys have been like wondering if you should start a podcast, because there's so much about podcasts coming through your spirits, like, yes, this person needs to be speaking, and just like sharing your truth from an authentic place, not putting on a show. I feel like this is a group that doesn't put on a show, right? And so you help other people evolve just through your, you know, just you taking charge of your own life. And, you know, both Aries and Taurus, I'm seeing the horn. So like, I think of like being bullheaded and maybe stubborn. And so like stubborn for the right causes, but also being able to be humorous and laugh about, you know, the times when you're stubborn for the wrong causes and like, what the fuck ever. Like there's this very like refreshing energy that my pile number 4 has, that helps people just enjoy the entirety of their life and go after their dreams. This is definitely a very yang type of energy you guys bring to the table, whether you're female or male. This is a very active, masculine energy that is coming through very strongly. But with a moon here, there's a very delicate balance of the moon and the Wheel of Fortune that, again, that space for grace is there, to where you don't act like you have it all figured out. But you do. I feel like it's like, I think Oprah Winfrey wrote a book of like what I do know to be true, right? And so it's based off of like, I don't know all the secrets to the entire fucking universe. Like, that's not fun. That's not what we're here for. We got to leave a little room for the mystery, right? Little room for the moon here, a little room for the Wheel of Fortune, and a little room for fate and for, you know, surprises. That's what makes life fun. And so I feel like you really help people to remember that life is here to be fun, and you instill a lot of wisdom, and this is a very charismatic group. Even if you wouldn't label yourself as charismatic, there's a hell of a lot of charisma behind this group. There's a hell of a lot of passion. There's a lot of fire. There's a lot of intuition. There's a lot of, it's a really good balance that I'm getting here. Very nurturing, very giving. And I feel like you guys genuinely want to help other people, and they feel that. You're someone other people really trust, my pal number 4. And so just you being yourself, or whatever you do, your podcast, let me know what your podcast is, because I want to check it out, right? If you guys have even been wondering, like, this is confirmation of something, because I feel like whatever you've been through, your life experiences really do help other people. And you just like sharing authentically and not putting on a show, not pretending you're more evolved than you actually are, really helps people. Like, however you authentically express yourself really helps people. And if you don't already have a community building already, I would be really surprised if this group didn't. Then there's a lot of potential for that here. Right, so I'm going to leave this reading here for now. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being here. My group number 4. Leave any comments down below if it resonates. Like this video. Subscribe if you've been here before, and I hope I see you soon. What's up, my group number 5? Here's your reading for how you guys help others evolve. Powerful. You guys chose Cinnabar, which is all about manifestation, wealth, and inspiration, and it has Leo in Mercury, or Mercury in Leo, I should say. But yeah, this is known as the alchemist stone. Cinnabar is a crystal used to enhance metaphysical abilities, call in abundance, and manifest your heart's desires. Cinnabar's name originated from the Persian word meaning dragon's blood, which refers to the tiny red speckles, gems sprinkled across the stone. Powerful in enhancing your life force, giving you stamina you need to carry out your tasks with that Leo energy, and going after the things that feel larger in life. So it grounds and encourages you while you reach beyond what you believe is possible. So there's two cards here that, you know, we have two cards that to me talk about balance. I mean, this literally says balance. But this is justice, right? We have the justice card, and then we have the 6 of pentacles coming through. I'm pretty sure that's justice. I think that's justice. Sometimes I be forgetting what these Roman numerals and these numbers stand for, but whatever. I feel like ultimately what this is telling me, you guys, and you also have the 3 of Wands here, is like how you help other people evolve is like you help people approach life and approach going after their dreams and approach like this new age where we have so many resources available to us to create success without relying so much on the system as we once did, even just like 20 years ago. I feel like you help people approach that from a very balanced lens, right? So not expecting, you know, to become an overnight success, not having things be so like things that you can tangibly see all the time. I mean, because there's a lot here about, this talks about metaphysics. Yeah, so metaphysics is beyond the physical, metaphysical, right? So I feel like you help people see that what they're getting on a level of like money and just like on the level of survival is like one aspect. I'm not discounting it, right? There's that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, yes, if you are in a state of fight, flight, or freeze, that's not a really good place to receive divine inspiration. I'm definitely acknowledging that. But it's like, I feel like group member 5, you help reframe people's perspective of what they really need, right? I feel like there's been studies before, and I don't know where I heard this, but there have been studies about people that have a lot of wealth or people that have made at least living comfortably. There have been studies on people that are just like, you know, moderately successful and just mildly successful and just like getting by. And then people that have a lot of money. And there is definitely a degree. There is like a point to where once someone feels set, it's like more money from that point on does not equal more happiness. And so I feel like because we are talking about wealth and manifestation here at the top of the card, it literally says wealth and manifestation. What else? Inspiration. I feel like you guys really help people approach life from a perspective where they're not so results oriented, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm going to tune into my inspiration. I'm going to go towards what makes me feel really excited. I'm going to lean into like my manifestation, but I'm going to stay balanced within myself. And I also recognize that my levels of prosperity don't just come from the material, right? It's not placing your treasures up where moth and dust will corrupt. My levels of prosperity have to do with how spiritually connected I am, how strong my life force is, right? The stronger the life force, that's your inner fire, right? The stronger the life force, the more you're able to digest experiences as they come, because this is the human experience. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, right? There's going to be moments where we feel victorious. There's going to be moments where we feel, you know, not victorious. And like we're climbing through a load of mud that ended up being shit, right? And there's no shower. There's no shower. So I feel like you help people see and appreciate the entire experience, and you don't like sell people on a dream, right? I feel like that's one of the reasons why MLMs. There's someone on here, Charlotte Zobre, talks about, she has a funny series of like friends don't let friends join MLMs. And I'm so sorry if you're in one or like in one. Oh God, here I go. I'm going to eat my words. If you've dabbled, I've dabbled, right? I feel like there's, you know, obviously appreciate what's being brought into your life, right? There's a reason for everything. I do believe there's a reason for everything. But essentially, what the fuck did I get off on that for? What was I talking about? Oh yeah. I noticed that people tend to fall for MLMs, and the reason why I fell for them, or why I feel like I was susceptible to it, was because you're sold more on a dream than you are the reality of things, right? And so I feel like you guys sell people on their dream, right? You're like, yes, your dreams are possible, but you're also very realistic about achieving that, right? It's not does this talk about staying grounded? I mean, it's a stone that resonates with the root chakra, talking about this life force energy, right? And it's, this definitely reminds me of a grounding stone, regardless if it's also very tapped into like inspiration that seems to come from the divine. So it's like, yeah, you help others evolve and like, expect the unexpected, but also, put one foot in front of the other. Don't expect to be an overnight success. There's a phrase, I think it's not Sufi, but there's like, maybe it's Muslim. I don't know. I'm sorry, you guys. But Ram Dass would talk about this quote all the time of like, yeah, trust in God, but tie your camel kind of thing, right? Because I feel like sometimes people, when they really get into like this manifestation and Neville Goddard and Abraham Hicks and, all of these different people, it's like it can become so ungrounded and sometimes unrealistic and discounting, the slowness of Earth and the slowness and the beauty. There's a lot of beauty in the fact that things take time to unfold here. That's one of the reasons why we would incarnate. At least that's what I believe. So this is what I feel like you really teach other people, right? Whatever it is that you do, whether you're actually verbally saying this or through you just enjoying the entirety of your journey and not making things mean more or less than what they actually do. The Three of Wands, it's like, you expect victory. Like, you go after the things that feel exciting and, like, you expect things to go well, but you don't get down on yourself when they don't. And I feel like there is a trust in the universe. There is a trust that, like, you believe in the human heart. You believe in the human spirit. You believe that, if someone else were down on their luck, you would be like, hey, come stay with me for, like, what do you need? Let's, like, a leg up, right? So it's like, you understand that process of chasing after your dreams, like the journey within itself is the reward. And the more fun you're having, the more rewarding and the more you're winning, even if to the outside eye, it looks like you have no reason, no cause for celebration. And so, like, you help I don't know what you guys are doing, obviously. Like, some of these piles, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? There's one that's very clear that they should be or they already are running a podcast. But that's just essentially as much as I got through, because there's, like, so many different types of light workers coming into my readings, doing different things. But, I mean, ultimately, the main thing that I feel like, at least at this point in your incarnation, or at least the people that have known you the most, the longest, like, you help people go after what it is and, like, to shoot for the stars, right? Or what's that phrase? Shoot for the moon, and at the very least, you'll land on a star. Like, you're very good at communicating here with the Mercury energy. There's a sense of being able to really communicate these things to people in a way that I feel like far supersedes it's like the energy you're sitting at when you say things. So even if people can't always follow because you're like, there's a lot here about metaphysics and manifestation. So I feel like you guys probably have a different lexicon than maybe a lot of people around you. So I feel like at the very least, if people can't follow what you're saying conceptually, the energy that you speak from transmits the codes that they need. What did it talk about? Dragon's blood. Oh yeah. So yeah, I feel like ultimately you help other people evolve in a sense where you help reframe prosperity and, stay balanced and stay realistic, but also like, shooting for the moon. I feel like you also, you're such an inspiration because you give people permission to feel successful already and not successful when. And in my most humble of opinions, that's not success. If this now moment, which is the only moment we ever have, if it's not being taken care of, if it's not being enjoyed, it's like you're essentially just rushing to your grave. For what? And so I feel like whatever you guys do, you help people, like you help with longevity, you help with stamina, you help, you show people that like there's less need or there's less feeling like you have to force yourself to do things when you're really aligned with the right things and the things that set your soul on fire. And so I feel like you are probably already doing that. And in some way, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an aspect of you that teaches these principles, because there's a lot here about, I don't know, I'm just seeing like, with the metaphysics and the Mercurian energy, especially in Leo. Leo's all about like display and like the world is my stage type of energy. So I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are somehow externally playing out this thing, or this, you know, this one area, or this one of the reasons why you help other people evolve so much in this aspect is because you're living it out and you're kind of like sharing your story along the way. And so you inspire other people with that, whether it's a setback, whether it's a victory, whatever it is. I feel like you just help put into perspective for people like how to enjoy all of it, to remain balanced, live like, yeah, I have great dreams, I have big things that I want to do, but it's like, tie your motherfucking camel, like take care of what it is now, feed your children, like, you know, like be here, be now, this is all we have, you know, and do what feels the most aligned, the most inspired in this moment, and trust that, like, you know, this moment also includes, you know, making appointments. This moment also includes doing your dishes, right? But it's like, how can I bring the most amount of funness and joy and, you know, just purity to what's here and now, and trusting that that's going to lead you to where you need to be. And that's where divine synchronicity happens. That's what it means to leave space for grace and miracles to come in, and showing up at the right place at the right time. But it's like, you expect success. Most things that you go after end up really well. And I feel like it's because you have a very balanced approach within yourself. Like the balance of the masculine and the feminine forces is there. But also it's like, I feel like nothing can keep pile number 5 down. And so you really help other people see that too. Like they don't, you know, shame doesn't have to keep me down. Embarrassment doesn't have to keep me down. A temporary setback doesn't have to keep me down. You know, switching my, you know, if it felt right last week and it doesn't feel right now, then I have the freedom to be okay with that and to follow what feels right now, even if it looks completely opposite than it did last week. Like there's this very carefree and very like owning who you are, owning this moment that you guys give other people permission to experience as well. And so yeah, true leader. Thanks for being here, pal number 5. If this video resonated, please give it a thumbs up, comment any synchronicities down below, subscribe if you've been here before, and I hope to see you soon.